I hate it when people have power over me. This was a phrase that came up yesterday in a session. And it's such a beautiful, perfectly wrapped package of what I want to talk about today, which is identity and the ways that we weave the stories we tell about ourselves and who we believe ourselves to be. So, this topic of power and control is coming up everywhere right now. And not only because of interpersonal relationships one-on-one, but also on a company level, employees having distrust or mistrust of their leadership. In general, people being uncertain in a time where AI is coming in and being a big factor. And is this our savior, or is it something that we should be terrified about? There is just a lot of uncertainty where we stand. And what I see is that's shaking a lot of that stability and feeling of control and making us feel a bit more powerless. And I will say that because I have insider information into my own brain, and that's how I often feel when I get caught up in all of the stories that I hear around me. And so when that statement came in yesterday, I hate when people have power over me. It is such an opportunity to look at what are the stories that we are weaving inside of our own minds. And that is one of, I have people in this world that can tell me how I should feel. I am at the mercy of people and situations around me. Now, we normally don't say it that clearly inside of our own head, but that's exactly what it comes down to. Because the flip side of this, and a friend of mine pointed out that I say the flip side all the time, and so this is for you. The flip side of this is that it is a direct indication that I am not taking deep enough ownership for how I choose to interact in these moments. So the reverse of that statement, I hate when people have power over me, is I choose to respond in this way regardless of the external circumstances and situations that I find myself in. And so we explored, what would they like to feel in that moment? What would they like to experience in that conversation when they're going to have the opportunity to discuss with this individual? And all of a sudden, you could watch just the anxiety levels decrease, because it went from, I hold no power over this situation, someone else is dictating everything, to, no matter how that person shows up, if they come in trying to destroy my job, or if they come in begging for mercy, I will show up in exactly the same way, because that is what I require and that is what I demand of myself. And this is the power that stories have for us. This is the power that looking at consciously creating how we show up in each moment is shaped by the stories that we tell ourselves. So if I'm telling myself I am a powerful force of love in this world, there are people that are really easy to live that out around. There are people that just make it so easy to love them. And then there are others that, man, it would be much more momentarily rewarding to not love them in a moment, to teach them a lesson. But long term, I feel it. And I feel like I hand over my power to a situation or another individual. And so that's just one example that I wanted to share. But I wanted to leave you with this in a time where everything right now feels quite uncertain, where there's, of course, many beautiful things happening in the world today, lots of growth, expansion, and opportunity. But it can also leave us with a feeling of uncertainty. And in these moments, the way that we can build some of that inner structure, that stability, is to remind ourselves who we are and how we want to show up each day. And when I have these I am statements, I am loving, I am compassionate, I am whatever it might be, when we can hold to this, it will dictate our actions in the moment. So who are you being today?